I'm here with the presentation Antenatal Care, a well-omitted chapter, Bihar. Before I proceed on, I would like to say the previous two speakers are from the state of India, and I am from a state which not only on the map of India, but on the globe, if you see the most less privileged state. The presentation has been prepared under the guidance of Dr. Pankaj Hans, consultant nephrologist, and Dr. Nandita Bose, consultant Obs and Gynae, who too felt the need of family medicine and family physicians. I will be discussing it under following heads: the definition, aim, a small study reflecting pregnancy-induced acute kidney injury, inference from the study, need of antenatal care, major issues like diet, anemia, immunizations, the Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals. And lastly, the role of family medicine and family physicians through modified ANC from their desk to be achieved in a projected goals and target manner. If we peep a small background, antenatal care has its beginning in 1901 when J.W. Ballantyne published his plea for a pro-maternity hospital. And it includes the strict medical activities, education of girls and women, dietary and social conditions conducive to health, to prepare a state of physical and psychological well-being. The definition goes as the antenatal care is a type of preventive health care with the goal of providing regular checkups that allow doctors or midwives to treat and prevent potential health problems throughout the course of pregnancy, while promoting healthy lifestyle that benefits both mother and child. The aim of the antenatal care should be every wanted pregnancy culminates in delivery of a healthy baby without impairing health of the mother, development of so-called antenatal assessment tools to assess methods for pregnant women to identify those needing additional care, and to offer a comprehensive information on best practice for baseline clinical care of all pregnancies. A small study over a period of 2 years was done on 72 pregnant women, those who were not having any sort of kidney problems. And just a short for the family medicine graduates, if you define the acute kidney injury according to KDIGO, it has the following three important, and if you find any one, you can diagnose it as acute kidney injury. That's the increase in serum creatinine level by more than or equal to 0.3 milligram per deciliter within 48 hours, increase in serum creatinine more than or equal to 1.5 times baseline, which is known or presumed to have occurred within the prior 7 days, or urine volume less than 0.5 ml per kg per hour for at least 6 hours. And here the acute kidney injury in pregnancy has a significant figure of serum creatinine, that is 0.6 milligram per deciliter, very essential for saving the pregnant women. If we see the cause of acute kidney injury, the obstetrical cause finds the place in between the medical and the surgical cause. The study which was done showed the AKI was more in pregnant women from low socioeconomic status, and the parietis status, it was more in the primary. The AKI has a pattern of distribution in pregnancy, a bimodal distribution, that is, you find to see more during the first trimester, followed by third trimester. And we also see very little in the second trimester. So the first trimester and the third has got more significance. This was the cause of obstetrical AKI in the study what we did. The most common was 46% the septic abortions, followed by 38% of pre-eclampsia, eclampsia, and the HELP syndrome, followed the hyperemesis 14%, and very rare cases means we came across about 1 or 2 patients with hemolytic uremic syndrome and the acute fatty liver of pregnancies. So again, if you classify according to gestational age, the septic abortions were the most common during early pregnancy and hypertensive disorders in late pregnancies. The management part, what we did, the 43 patients were actually needed the RRT in the form of hemodialysis, dilatation and evacuation and RRT in 18 patients and conservatively 11 patients. The outcome was good. I can say that we could discharge major and death only in very few % of patients. So the conclusion of this study that the septic abortions were the most common cause of acute kidney injury and the incidence of biopsy proven bilateral renal cortical necrosis high with post-abortal sepsis patients. The importance of what we felt that the failure of family planning methods led to unwanted pregnancies, illegal and unsafe abortions, and hence the incidence of AKI. Then the comprehensive approach, what the other specialty too, and the early intervention in form of timely referral and dialysis helped in better maternal and fetal outcome. So a multidisciplinary approach we all can say, along with the role of nephrologists definitely dealing with the AKI and obstetrical care for the pregnant woman, and a significant role of the family medicine. So this was the comprehensive approach for the better maternal and fetal outcome. Then what the inference we get from the above study, forgetting the renal and everything, that poverty, lack of health education, poor resource development, lack of accessibility of already existing the available resources, gender discourage, and we can recollect very well, this is the goal 1 of the Millennium Development Goals. Then definitely a need of the renal function test, that too serum creatinine value of 0.6 became essential while we do the hemoglobin and other tests the first time the patient comes to us. Poor diet, worsening of anemia during pregnancy, and definitely the maternal health has been included in the Millennium Development Goal, Goal 5.
Dr. Sonia, can you please conclude?
Okay, ma'am. Millennium Development Goals, we all know, 8, which was to be completed in 2015, and we are standing in 2015 November, we all know, yet to be achieved. Hence, the MDGs, it places health at the heart of the development, and major challenges to include was the Goal 5 and status of women, a very challenging status of the Millennium Development Goal. Hence, the United Nations have given the Sustainable Development Goals to be achieved by 2030, which we could not be, and the 8 almost has been doubled to 17. So, utmost need, why all the studies completed, the role of family medicine and family physicians, the significant thinkover of a family medicine, family physician to consider patient as a whole, including the community participation, thinking about the surroundings in which they are living, the first contact physician, easy to penetrate the society by the communication skill, compassionate grounds has to be kept in mind, and as previous speakers said, the ASHAs, the Anganwadi workers, ANMs, they are very important tool to bring a change. Then a drift is definitely needed, not only from planning, but also the implementation. And all such adjectives like motivation, awareness, encouraging community participation, I feel the need of the family medicine. This, if from the desk of a family physician, if we look for the modified ANC, definitely what all NICE guidelines has said and what all has been done so far, we still need from the study the 0.6 value of serum creatinine to be done as a baseline investigation, and the antenatal clinics that is run by mostly the JRs and the ANMs need more training, as specialists don't have much time to spend with the patient. Protocols to be made at all the 3 levels, women to be enrolled, high risk pregnancy, domiciliary care, that is reaching to the patient rather
Dr.
than
Sonia,
they coming
please
to us.
Conclude.
Okay, ma'am. And this is the very triangle, and this is the red triangle, the inverted, and who else can make this inverted triangle into an erect triangle if the well-trained family medicine physicians only needing a command like go for it. Thank you.
Thank you.